Hi, hello, welcome back, all the things. Let's dive in because I really just want to dive into this book. Also, the first book we're going to read is from the library, and I already put off reading it for a couple of days and got this little notification that someone's waiting for it, so that means I won't be able to renew it. So let me tell you about the book we're going to read and why we're going to read it. I try to limit myself to minimal social media, if you will. I don't belong to a lot. I am on Instagram, and on Instagram I found Reading Rosie. I will leave the reel that I'm talking about linked down below so you can see it, but I try to follow readers whose book suggestions I'll actually want to take, right? So in scrolling the other day, I found a reel that she made about funny books, and there she had up on top like if they had language in them and if they were clean reads and the things. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to get some Instagram bookstagrammers? What are we calling them? In people who read books on Instagram. Anyways, I thought I'd check out some of the books she recommended. So some of the books I have actually read that she recommended. Actually, I take it back. I don't think I've read any of the books that she recommended. She recommended 6 books in that little reel. So we're going to try to read some of them, and then maybe we'll do another person another time. But the first book up that I'm telling you that I need to read because we need to get it back to the library is First Love, Second Draft. This one is by Becca Kinzer, and it is a sports romance. It is, I mean beyond that, because that's what it says on the cover, I don't know much more. I think, but I could totally be lying to you, that this is a second chance romance, or this is a enemies to lovers type deal. That was just not vague enough. That's what it is. But we're gonna dive in. Let's start reading. It is a holiday. It's Labor Day at the time of reading, so I'm hoping to get some work done today, but also I'm hoping to get a good chunk of this reading in because I'm going to take advantage of my husband being home. But it is already late in the afternoon, and I do actually just want to be present with my family. So I don't know how much we're going to get done. I'm going to venture and say most of this reading is going to get done in the evening hours after we put everybody to bed this week. But let's hang out and let's see how much we get done, and if it does make me laugh out loud. Good morning, or yeah, I think it's still morning. I just want to I don't know what that word was. I just wanted to give a quick update on the book, First Love, Second Draft. So this is a kind of enemies to lovers, but also second chance romance, sport-ish book. And also, I don't know if you can really tell from the cover here, there's bookish type things in here, and I love a book, about libraries, about writers, about authors, about that whole world. It's so fun to read a book about people who also love books. I don't know if that made sense, but all of that packed in here. I started reading it last night before I went to bed, and I had to stop myself at chapter 14. I had to like call it and be like, okay, I can't read anymore, which is about 26% of the book so far. I want to do nothing but like curl up and read today. I love when a book captures me that way, but it was a laugh out loud book. I had to try to cover it with a cough because, you know, it was evening and we were trying to get the kids to quiet down and settle down and go to sleep. And so, you know, if I get the giggles and they can hear me, it's just gonna rile everybody back up. Plus my husband had to go to work today, so I was trying to be quiet so he can get his rest in, but I'm reading the book and I was like trying not to laugh, and then I kind of coughed and I was like, sorry. He's not that sensitive. I just, you know, try to quiet down for the sake of everybody. But that's why I put the book down, because I was like, okay, stop. There's so much sass and wittiness in it. And like her Instagram post, Rosie Reads, her post was like books that made her laugh. And I thought, I don't know. Sometimes when you hype something up too much, that when you go into it, you're expecting so much, you're almost let down. So I don't want to do that for you, but I will say I am pretty expressive when I read anyways, so there's that. But if I think it would have been the middle of the day, I probably would have audibly laughed. So I had to go run some errands today and do adulty things. We are wrapping up, or we're getting through some morning time things and I want to just go ahead and go do my errands, and then that way I can sneak in some reading during the day and not just save this book for the evening hours. So far I have figured out all those tropes in one, just from the first 13 chapters, because that's what I finished. There's a banter that is going on between the main characters and the sister of the main character. It's funny. And then you have like a secondary, I feel like there's a secondary romance in it as well, with the nephew of the main character. The nephew's name is Matt, and his not lost love, but his high school crush comes back into town. So I'm wondering where we're gonna go with that, but she's already entered the picture, and there's just a scene that has already taken place and it's hilarious with four of the main characters. So we have Noah and Gracie, who were married at one point. Noah is a baseball player, but he has just recently been cut from his roster and has come back to their town. Gracie has just been injured, and she is a writer, and she is hit up with a deadline. She writes romance, but she's struggling to write romance. So there's that in the mixture. There's Noah and Gracie, who are the possible second chance romance, also kind of enemies to lovers because they're exes, and she has some really strong unforgiveness happening with him, and he's just like trying to work his way back in at this point. But he is serving it right back up to her. He is kind, but he is not giving in when she tries to make him mad and push him away. He is just serving back the sarcasm also. And then Gracie's sister has shown up, but she is supposed to be Gracie's caretaker while she's trying to heal, and she's just off and running doing her thing. Her son, Gracie's sister's son, I don't know, what is Gracie's sister's name? Okay, the sister's name is Mona. I had to like flip all the way back. I don't know why. Anyways, now I've got to go back and find my page again. Mona is this, sounds like a jet-setting real estate person. Even the ex-husband, Noah, is like not quite sure what she does, and the way he describes her job, it's funny. And I will say though, I don't know if it's just the digital read. I don't think it is, but the chapters aren't titled with anything, and that sometimes you're getting a different character's point of view. So when I was reading at night, I was just reading and enjoying the storyline and just really getting into it, and I had to stop for a second and be like, wait, whose point of view are we in now? So sometimes I think at the beginning of the chapter they'll write whose point of view is. That's not in this book, and so when you're reading, just know that it's coming from different points of view. So far we've gotten Gracie's point of view, Noah's point of view, and the nephew Matt's point of view. So I'm excited to read some more, but like I said, let's go do adult things, and then that way we can get back to reading. I finished it. I finished First Love, Second Draft, 5 stars. I don't even know where to begin with this because it's been a couple of days since I finished it. I meant to wrap it up and let you know what I thought of it, and then, I don't know, life got lifey like it does. But let me tell you, this book had me laughing literally out loud at the beginning. Again, I'm kind of hesitant to tell you because then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hype it up and then you're gonna read it, hopefully, and if it doesn't live up to it, you know, I feel bad, but it is all the things. It did end up being a sports romance. There is enemies to lovers at the same time, second chance romance. So because they are ex-husband and ex-wife, Gracie and Noah are ex-husband and ex-wife, and Gracie is like, I don't want anything to do with you, I don't want to see you, and Noah is just so determined to win his wife back. And in the book, several times he refers to her as his wife, and people have to correct him and be like, ex-wife, and he is like, no, like this, I'm making this happen again. And so he's trying to woo her, and they are working through some very real issues. There is fertility, so if that is something that's triggering for you, that's touched upon in this book. And then there is also a second romance in it between Gracie's nephew and his high school friend. So that was fun that that's tied in there, but the wittiness and the sarcasm between all of the characters, I just loved it. This is the second book that I have read by Becca Kinzer. I didn't even realize that until after I was looking into it, but she has also written Dear Henry, Love Edith, and wait a minute, then maybe it's a different, this is not just the second book. Also Love in Tandem, so I read those as well. And now that I'm looking it up, there is a couple of other ones. I'm gonna see if my library has any of these, because we are on a book ban, so technically can't buy any of the books, but I don't know. I have a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll put some of these on my wish list. But all in all, fantastic read. Like I said, give it 5 stars. Let's see what else she recommends and do maybe one more book in this video so we can, no, sorry. My emails were open when I opened my phone, and no, I don't want to get sucked into that. Let me see what else we have. Next up, I think we are going to read The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner. I actually looked to see if my library had this in digital format, and it does, but both the library that we used to belong to, my card is still active, but I won't be able to renew it, so darn that. But, and the current library, the wait for the book, the digital and the audio, are like several weeks and several months long. So I was like, yeah, you better just get on reading the physical copy. The only reason I'm hesitant is because reading physical copies right now, books, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be my season for it. Also, I could use a good smile. I could use a good laugh, hopefully. Life has just been lifing really hard, and I could use some uplifting escapism. So hopefully this is it. I'm going to start this. I'm actually going to, there is a online reading sprint that's going to start in like 30-ish minutes. So I'm hoping to join that and maybe get a good chunk in, but we'll see. Right now I'm just doing some boring admin work, paying bills, loading up videos to hopefully edit, that kind of thing. But this will be the next book I think that I'm going to pick up. I seriously need to do a little more research before I start some books, because I just finished saying if I was feeling some kind of way and I wanted to smile and laugh, and then this, I only got through the first chapter and I was like, what? The first chapter hits hard. It's sad. So if you haven't picked this up yet, please let me be the one to tell you. It's sad. I'm going to give it a couple more chapters, and if not, we may have to table this one for a little while.
Want me to interview?
I'm almost done. Look at this. I just started it. It was, I'm laughing because my husband is next to me, and I should be going to sleep now. But I have like 2 pages until I get to chapter 22. Like I literally just put the bookmark in because it was coming upstairs. But I'm already on page, I can't even see. I'm on page 188. The book starts off rough. Chapter 1 is tough. Chapter 2, you're like, are you kidding me? But then you kind of get into the story, and it's just, there are some tougher moments in there. I have a feeling that there's going to be some even like more emotional ones, but it's woven in with some laughs, and like you can see the healing happening. If you don't know what the book is about, let me try to tell you really quickly, because we are trying to get the kids down and quiet down the house, and here I am still trying to film. The Bodyguard. Hannah is a bodyguard, but she calls herself, she's got a fancier word for it, and she has to go on assignment for this uber famous, super handsome stud of a man, and she is like, I don't know how I feel about this. There's, like I said, I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't think it has it in the front of the book or in the little blurb what happens, but just know that the first couple of chapters, emotions hit really hard. This actor has been, after a family tragedy, the actor kind of goes into recluse and takes a pause on doing movies, but because of his contract, he has to come back and complete another one. But also his mom gets sick, and so there is tension in the family, and I have a feeling we're going to find out a little bit more about the family tragedy, what really happened, how it really affected them, and that's why I'm saying I think there is going to be even more like emotional hardship. But Surprisingly, I have just, because I say surprisingly because I wanted a light, easy, fun read, and there are parts and elements to this book that really hit that mark, and so I'm really loving this. Like I said, I probably would just stay up all night and read it, but out of respect, I can't. I gotta turn the light off next to me, and so I'm just gonna try to stop. I'm gonna get the next 2 pages done so I can end on a chapter, and I'm gonna try to stop there for tonight, and then tomorrow, maybe I can finish it tomorrow. I know I'm like at a weird angle, but I'm still reading this morning. Also, I don't think I even mentioned, I got up, went straight to my book, made coffee, and started reading. And I haven't got very far because I keep getting distracted. But in chapter 24, there is a ruse that is up, and they're trying to tell the truth. And I just say that I love the mom in here. She's this whole scene. It's hers. It's beautiful. I'm halfway through the chapter though, and last night when I said that I only needed like 2 more pages in the chapter took a turn immediately when I started reading it. So, like I said, I'm on T10, and it looks like there are 305 pages. I'm trying to thumb through really fast because sometimes I will accidentally look at the last, like sentence or the last word, and I so don't want to do that. So I'm pretty confident we're going to get this done today because it's been just such an easy read, like such a fast flying pace read. I don't know that if I've read any other, like off the top of my head, I can't remember if I read any of the Catherine Center books, but I think I need to go find some immediately, if not sooner, after I finish this. So anyways, I just had to pop the camera on because I wish I had been recording my face as I was reading the conversation, because I literally laughed out loud and I was like, what? I love her. Okay, let's get back to reading. Okay, I will also say, like, it's a very serious thing that is happening here, the stalker issue. It is serious, but also there are some funny bits, so don't want to take away that part is for real. That's for real. Even the stalker person is kind of, they make her out to be kind of funny, but it's not funny when you're being threatened. But just disclaimer. So we got to Bulb later in the chapter, like just a page later, and I knew it would come. I knew it would get emotional. I don't know. She just does a beautiful job of like weaving those 2 things in together where I didn't want a heavy book, and this book has heavier bits, but it doesn't, I don't even know. It does hit because it's real. Well, not. It's because it feels real. She just does a beautiful part of like leveraging those things out, I think, and that's what makes you kind of just gobble it up. It's easy to read. It's I don't know, so far we're anyways, let me get back to what's happening, the family drama here. A lot of noise and things happening in the house this morning, but I finished it. I have a bunch of stuff that it's tucked in here because I had to bring it back upstairs. And when you come back up the stairs, you're like, grab all the things I need for upstairs, because I'm not trying to be a stairmaster going up and down the stairs all the time. But anyways, I digress. I finished it. You can see I put a couple tabs in here. I want to remember a few quotes. Some of them I was just like, oh yeah. And I think that she just writes that way, right? Like you're just reading along, laughing, and then bam, there's a quote that you're like, wow. One of them, it says, but once you know how terrible the world is, you can't unknow, no matter how much you might want to. And yeah, you just like, it made me more personal and more the timing of all the things. And like I said, how life just keeps getting lifey with me at all times. that one hit hard. And then there's some other lighthearted things that were, again, I think just personal, where they're taking off things that you should know for safety and all these things. Don't meet with strangers at unknown locations, blah, blah, blah. One of the things is keep your gas tank at least half full at all times. And that is just like an ongoing battle between my husband and I. I always feel like you have one person in the marriage who the gas tank is empty at half full, and then the other person who's like on E and is like, oh, we still will make it. Guess which one I am. Mark your guesses below and then let me know what you are, because yeah, just you always seem to marry each other, right? Or you're like best friends, and like, yeah, there's always two people in the relationship like that. Anyways, just a couple like just things in here that, like I said, I want to remember. But it is a library book, so I didn't want to mark it up. I wish though, I just had a birthday and my family was like, we're going to give you 24 hours to break your book buying ban, and I bought no books during that 24 hours. I don't know. I had gotten a couple of books. I will share that with you maybe in a different video, because I feel like maybe this one's getting too long. You guys don't even care about all this. Let me just wrap up this book. I really love this book. I think, ooh, you okay? I've got a little one in here who's waiting for me to finish this too. So I love the book. I'm pretty sure it's 5 stars. I like to marinate on it like a minute or two at least, and I haven't. Like, I literally just finished the book, ran upstairs to film the outro. I'm anxious to read another Catherine Center book and see if it's similar to this, if her writing style captures me as much as this one did. I will leave the link down below for the Instagrammer. I believe her name is Rosie. But I'll leave it, and especially the clips that I watch where she recommends the book. I have read some of the books that she recommended in that little clip, but I'm trying, if you're on Instagram, you can check her out. And then I think, like, yeah, I will not hesitate to take a closer look at some of the other books she recommends. Let me know if you like these types of videos, or who else you think I should look at their recommendations and maybe read a couple of their books, or if you have recommendations, leave them down below. All in all, great read. I love the way that it wrapped up. A little twists and turns, you know, in the last couple of chapters that I didn't see coming. I was wondering, because the story was wrapping up, and then I was like, we still have a few more chapters though. Something else has to happen, and you're almost fearful. But good. It was good. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I will just tell you, if you haven't read this one, you definitely should. I loved it, just like the other one that she recommended. So I'm going to get to my son, who is anxiously waiting for his mom. Thank you so much for taking your time out and spending it here with me.